welcome back. We're picking where we left off last time at Victoria 3 in our Great Qing game, which is the second run of it in patch 1.8. In the last run, I screwed up and probably grabbed the transition from land-based to proportional way too early. And as such, we were generating a whole lot less income for a large portion of the game. This time we fixed that. We haven't been quite so greedy and have delayed it quite a bit. As a side effect, we're probably about 20 years ahead on GDP growth. I think we are a little bit later swashing into laissez-faire as a side effect, but everything else I think is going pretty well. And with that, let's go ahead and continue. So the main goal of this is to get a baseline on how 1.8 compares to the upcoming patch, which I think is coming up next Thursday. My Thursday. By the time you're watching this, I might not be before Thursday. But as a side effect, I'm going to try to get this done fairly quickly. Grab the next construction tech. Not too worried about that. I think we're going to save up mandates, at least 3 mandates, and probably take advanced research. In fact, actually, we can go ahead and just take advanced research too right now. This isn't doing anything until we can swap to a research group, or an education group. But hopefully we're going to do that after laissez-faire passes. Regardless of whether laissez-faire passes or not, this is probably what we're going to try next. I don't think anyone is actually opposed to the education law I want to do right now. Okay, we need some, as a side effect of that event, we need a little more government admin. Do we only have 30 there? I only have 30 there. Okay, let's up you and the capital to 50. It'll be more admin than we need right now, but if we actually follow through on what we want to do with education, we're going to want more once that's done. Everything's stable around where they are, apparently. Well, we got a time modifier from annexing Burma, I suppose. Bureaucracy was sorted by that change. That's good to see. Again, I think swapping the laissez-faire off of agrarianism should help with getting the reinvestment pool bigger. And then the education law pass will significantly lower doing things like dashing from mutual fund ahead of time, the cost of that. So I think it's going to be vulcanization, probably grab nationalization, or nationalism. Might grab the corporation tax next, and company tax next. So, where was the place that I just got investment rates into? It was Argentina. It wasn't Chile, it was Argentina, Peru or something? New Granada. Okay. So we're going to want to have declared interest in those areas, so we can potentially try to drag them into the sphere of influence. Oh, is that they wanted investment in me? Yes. Okay. I'm confused and did it the other way around. Okay. Goldfield's backed up, so that's fine. We'll just quickly build that out. Oh, I suppose that means we've got some states that we can core. Some states that we can state. So what we got left is universities, yes. What do I want to build after the universities? Furniture, food. Furniture, food, fabric, or furniture, food, clothing. So we want about 40 levels of you. Groceries are going to do like 20 levels of. And then clothing, we're going to do 45 of. Though we'll probably take a break in the middle of that to do the education system upgrade. Because we're going to need more bureaucracy for that, probably, I suspect. No, I was hoping. So as a vulcanization, we're going to be rapidly wanting to build rubber as well, so we can swap to machine tools. GDP does appear to be going up. Maybe not as quickly as we'd like it to. But then, I always like things to go faster. We like to see the line go up as fast as humanly plausible. But sometimes you only get it as fast as your history will support. And they now willing to accept some stuff? Yeah, so they're willing to accept defensive pact and defensive pact. We just got our first corporation from the laissez-faire. Do we have what we need? We do. Technology spread. Taiping Mining Company. Yes, please. Oh, and with that, it's now time to swing public schools. Currently, we might actually be able to get them into our trading union even without getting up to 200, or without even having to sign the mutual pact, mutual leverage pact. That one, maybe not. Oh, maybe. What are we trending to, I suppose? Put it to 240, maybe. Yeah, maybe I have their energy in. We'll see. Okay, laissez-faire is now in play. That may have mildly increased the reinvestment pool. I'll be back in a moment, being called away. Okay, sorry for the jump cut. Something came up and the recording session had to be interrupted. We're going to continue moving forward here on trying to raise the Great Qing's GDP. In this last run on 1.8.7 for the major 1.9 patch. It's out next Thursday for me. I think right now we're releasing 2 parts per day, so we'll see how well that goes. There's vulcanization. That's going to give us access to machine steeled tools, which gives us a use for rubber. What text do we want to run to? We'd grab the steel railway cars for better railways. Reinforced concrete would be greater construction efficiency. Or do we want to go over into society and try to push down usual funds? Yeah, let's go get the construction efficiency, steel railway cars, and then we'll go back to society tree. So, suppose with that, we probably want to go ahead and build rubber in fairly large masses, with the goal of making tools more efficiently. So at the moment, we've got enough tools, so maybe we might not rush through that. We'll try to slow roll that a little bit as tool demand raises. So instead of building new tool factories, we'll build rubber plantations and make tools that way. Won't turn that off. Yeah, we'll go ahead and start reaction time. We're also increasing our innovation, so when we get public schools, we can quickly apply quite a bit of that as well. Okay, there goes the universities. Oil discovered in Baghdad. We don't quite need oil yet, though we have pump jack tech at this point. Discipline and punish. We want the military happy-ish, right? We want to keep them around 4 or 5. So we can set them dropping to 6. That'll be fine. We may need more government bureaucracy when public schools complete. Guatemala. Argentina was the other one. Not quite there where they're getting it without... Oh, no, lose the time benefits. Okay. Yes, we are still working to expand the power block. We're almost at the point where we can get Argentina into the power block, I think. Close a trade agreement. And that's power block embassy. Yeah, we just need to get them up to 200, and we'll join the power block. Pretty sure in the last one we got Iraq in as well. Power block, yeah. We'll turn them into a protectorate, give it enough time. A little bit of malice to agriculture in exchange for quicker enactment capacity. That sounds like a plan. I'm currently not worried about the Heavenly Kingdom as long as we keep people happy, which is one reason where we've got the taxes down around normal instead of higher. We'd probably get a little bit more growth if we didn't have to worry about the Heavenly Kingdom. We've got enough innovation cap, at least for the duration of this. We can take the penalty to innovation throughput. There we go. So that costs about 150 overflow innovation. That will slow the tech speed down a little, or tech spread down a little bit, but that's fine. A little bit of demand for tools, about 500. We want to start swapping over at some point. What's the rubber market looking like? Rubber supply. Mandalay. Only Mandalay looks like it's got something on. We've got one level rubber plantation, which will provide 60. Okay, so let's go ahead and swap the first one over. We should have the rubber for that, given enough time.
Oh.
There we go, that's a big help. We don't need tools. Well, wouldn't hurt to probably do that again with the tools shop. Well, that was 40. Look at about 60, right? So we can do that one. And let's say that one. And then we'll have to go back and build more rubber plantations. And again, we got plenty of tools currently, but there's lots of buildings that consume tools, right? So we're building stuff that consumes tools. These consume tools, for example. So keeping tool prices low as we expand other stuff will give us the opening there. Looks like we probably get away with more furniture factories once those come online. We'll revisit it in a bit. Looks like we got some infrastructure problems in various places. Okay, and that's just a place where we're not going to be able to get be great because we're out of peasants. In fact, we're out of drop seekers, so that's even worse than being out of peasants. At some point, I'll be wanting to try to drag some more peasants up into here to work the gold. Yeah, everyone's got a job at the nice gold mines and gold fields. To such a degree, in the case of the gold, at least here it makes sense to talk about the donkeys, or the steam donkeys. Help with the transit. It's probably not the only place we got gold. Oh, we don't have gold mines there yet. And you still have peasants. Okay. It's a little bit slower here. I think what's ended up happening is we're actually starting to saturate some of the markets, and or reaching the point where we're running out of workers to work others, right? So, yes, we've got a big demand for fish. I don't think we've got any good fisheries to expand. Oh, Peggy's not that bad. I'll add Peggy to the list. We were suppressing the absolutist movement. Do I need that suppressed any longer? No. I think we can back off of that. Get that authority back for other things. Reinforced concrete's complete. Shovel a bunch of the construction. Then we'll go over to the steel railway, which will help with the logistics. The main way the construction efficiency helps is because it's global. I think it's global. Should, in theory, be helping our guys build more in parallel. Doesn't necessarily make it build faster, but rather you need to put less to get the same speed. Less construction needs to be done to get the same construction speed. There we go, public schools. With that, we want to embrace education. In 6 months, we can go to Advanced Research 3, which is another +10 maximum innovation level from education. Lowers the bureaucracy cost a little bit more. Yep, I think we're getting another round of furniture and food in us. And by food, I mean groceries to do. Do like 20 things of food. And then furniture. Yeah, like another 20 of those as well. There we go. Let's see how that works. And then back out on the world stage. Let's see if we can sneak some more people in to get Argentina to join. Welcome to the power block, Argentina. Not quite there with Grenada. though. Maybe if we start trading with them harder. And these guys have been reaching out to us. We think they're down. Though I don't necessarily need to do that, so we'll ignore that for the moment. Subjects. Liberty Desire. Siam is starting to come down. I'd like them to stop being a protectorate, but for the moment they are a protectorate. Car is not there. Oh, we can turn Iraq into a proper vassal state, which we will do. And Uruguay as well. Couple weeks, and we can do even better education. So as law-wise, any laws we want to pass or change. We do have a lot of opposition to migration control, so we should probably not do that. Could swap to private. Not too worried about trying to get on to private. I'd rather go straight to public. Oops. Bit of opposition to the ones that I would want. We want to stay on mercantilism until we get on to commercial. Because we may decide to do the corn laws to do the transition to commercial. We'll find out. So with that, I don't need the industrialists in power. Do I want the armed forces in power? No. We want them happy and we want them powerful, but we don't want them in government. Okay, so we make the government legitimate. That should get us a little bit more loyalist generation. Okay, it popped up at like the worst time. So we completed a text somewhere. Was that society? I think that was society. I think that was Q9. Was that production? Oh no, that was vacuum canning. Okay, that gives us some options. So that means that we want some oil to do some vacuum canning. Oil's right now pretty cheap. Granted, we got a lot of potential stuff to can. So how much surplus oil do we have? 160. Actually, how much oil do we have in addition to the surplus? Okay, so what we can do is just say vacuum pack everything and see how the oil market responds, because we're not going to cause a shortage. We'll have a deficit, but not a shortage. And I'm willing to accept that, actually. There we go. So oil shot up. Oil will start to work back itself down as probably the oil wells are higher up. That was actually demand for their stuff. Got that new mandate. So we grab Advanced Research 3. Here's Education 2. This is lower cost now. We have to go up to Education 3. To get to Education 4 and 5, we need to pass compulsory primary school or restricted. Right now, no one supports this. So 3 is the best we're going to be able to do. And it's probably good enough, honestly. Education-wise. At least initially. industry. Get every drop of oil, apparently. Yeah, potentially leaving a lot of profit on the table not going into expanding grain. Though I think the next grain expansion I want to do is probably improve fertilizers. So it'll be building fertilizer, not building grain specifically, I suppose. Which the food factories, okay. Food factories and furniture, okay. There's education level 3. So we're now getting 37% more education access, so we should see the education start to shoot up. We've reduced the head of time penalty by 15%, got 15% more tech spread, and 30 more max innovation investment into whatever we're actively working on. So all of that is real good. That may open up the reasonableness, potentially do a dash to mutual funds. But it's still 3 years. Yeah, still 3 years. But yeah, I still think that's the next tech we really want. So, might still do that push. How does the tool demand look? 800 tools needed. How does the rubber supply look? Probably at the point where... No, we're oversupplying again. Guessing the civilian sector is expanding the rubber as well. No, not in the same place at least. Or, well, we have subjects. The subjects could be building. Dynam could be building rubber. Looking to see where the rubber would be. Who's providing me rubber? Someone's selling me rubber. Cambodia. Test room, okay. So we got more rubber supply, so needless to say we should swap some more tooling workshops over. And we got like 3 times the rubber supply. Let's see what that looks like, rubber-wise. Interesting, I was expecting the demand to jump a little bit more than that. Instead of dropping back down on some of that, let's just queue one rubber farm, one rubber plantation up to the top. That'll at least get the deficit to go away. Our embracement of more rubber tools is a little bit delayed simply by the fact that we don't need very many more tools right now. Same sort of thing with oil, right? We've got... we'd probably expand oil production more if we had more need for it. Right, there's oil's on the list. So oil's about right. Consumption demand right now. What the heck we've got. Do we have currently... I think we currently have furniture in the queue. Yeah. Paper. Another 30-something paper factories. Would not be a miss. Oh, we can get another corporation. What do we want? If we hadn't already built all the logging camps, this wouldn't be too bad. This is going to have a hard time growing. With the changes where it now affects the buildings it owns, not the buildings it, all the buildings in the country, it's a little bit less good. So the main thing here is we could probably get it pretty easily prosperous, in which case we get more infrastructure. We'll pass on that. Oh, military goods cost. Just get the military goods even lower. Yeah, let's do that. And then we can turn around. So that's another 10% off. So we got 10% from that, 10% from peasants. The armed force is currently unhappy. We'll fix that. Three where it turns off. At least 3. Okay. We're getting 30 from here, so 10, 10, 30. We're getting 15, I think, from... Yeah, so military goods costs are like under 50% price, what we pay for them. So that's a good way to potentially build up the economy, is we can swap over and build up the army. Or at least build up the army's usage of stuff, if we're not raising the wages. So the main thing I'm going to see their consumption jump is ammunition. So I'm going to have to build more ammunition as they swap over. Or at least that's what I'm expecting, and yeah, we're seeing all the costs rising, but not necessarily being reflected in our budget. Yeah, definitely a third one. Might need more than a third one, we'll see. One thing I am going to need to do is I'm going to have to figure out how to get the tax budget up. Or lower the costs, I suppose. We could lower the government wages again. Maybe reevaluate the consumption taxes. Oh, that's definitely potential. Looking at the grain, and it's... Because we've been growing other stuff, the grain crisis, or the grain tax revenue is not as high as it used to be. Though it might still be high enough to warrant running. Tanker cars, steam trains, joint steam train. Okay. Grab the purse, steam trains, and steel passenger cars. Yep. Pick up nationalism. That allows us to sort of raise more taxes, and then we'll take the dash into identification documents, or not identification documents, into mutual funds. Okay, yeah, the cost is going down every one of the ones from 2 that we researched before we do the skip. We're having the other ones back feed, I suppose. Open Hearth Mills. So that allows us to make the steel a little bit cheaper. Looks like the next thing I should queue up a bunch of is iron. About 40, 45-ish iron. Let's go 40 iron. So basically just finish up Shaanxi. All the iron mine in Shaanxi. Okay. And I think we're at the point also where we don't want to expand expenses. Well, we just expanded expenses. We don't want to expand expenses anymore. We want the credit to go back down again. In our case, we kind of want to sit sort of low credit ratings. 10 million here is not too bad, because we are a great power on laissez-faire, but it could definitely be better. Interesting. I think we get our interest rate down to 5%. I mean, 5% of the, like, 5% or whatever, because we can activate treasury bonds here. We raised wages, government wages. Although right now that would definitely be less savings than our interest savings. Less savings on the interest than the cost and the wages, so we're not going to rush to do that. Let's add defense. Sure, we'll let the trade unions gain a little bit of power. It's just the trade unions, other than the fact that they're, well, they're Democrats, so they're not too bad. We might be able to do something with them, government-wise. The trade unions, once we get old age pensions, would be someone we want to bring into government to try passing that. Get a new corporation. Because of how we're building, I'm not too worried about what company, what buildings the companies own. More interested in the buff, if that makes sense. Convoys is tempting, because we do have a lot of desire to ship and buy things. Oh, apparently we're not making very good use of it right now. We don't need the bureaucracy. In fact, we'd rather probably expand the bureaucracy more, so by building buildings, because it'll also give us tax revenue. Don't think we need birth rate yet. I think we still got a big peasant population. Yeah. Maybe not the one I'll stick with, but we are going to go grab the state construction efficiency. Yeah, the fun of playing large nations like this. I'm watching the GDP and it's like raising like 500,000 a month. Some months, some aren't all positive, but high growth rates. Nice. Oh, we could definitely do another round of opium production. So there's our authority boast. Not worried about prestige, we can let that backfill. Not worried about, apparently also prestige, we can let that backfill. And those are the only two ones we're missing. Okay, so yeah, 30 months here, that's not too bad. We do want publicly traded. We want publicly traded, at which point I might then backfill, before trying to very rapidly dash human rights into corporatism. So we can try to swing old age pensions. We'll see. In theory, these two are spreading to us, so just a matter of time. Cycle a month to see how quickly these are spreading. There we go. So we're getting about 74 to this. Which isn't our research rate, but if we were focusing on it, it's about half a research rate, so it's pretty fast. Sure. Let's go ahead and put 40 more these specialist plantations down. Two million more peasants here. Ah, yes, migration and population growth in China. And apparently I just got stonked for, I think that's the one that's 3 companies with full levels, full stuff. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Probably scrolled past it already. Distracting us from the game. There's improved fertilizers, which spread to us. I'm gonna we're gonna raise the tax. Raise a glass tax, or do I drop the liquor to do a 200? Drop the liquor to do a 200, yeah. On to a transportation tax. Do another 200. It would have to be like 50, which is not what we're gonna get. Okay. And then we drop the wage. And then construction, place-wise, we can swap the fertilizers over to improved fertilizers. And the farms over to the better farms. So with that, fertilizer costs probably shot up. It's my expectations for fertilizer price shot up. Oh, apparently I'm making more fertilizer after the swap than before. Though that did make a bunch of grain, in theory. I say, and we can barely even see that in the swing. Okay. Should have been about 3... Oh, well, we get so much grain from subsistence farms. Yeah, we get so much grain from subsistence farms, it barely made a dent. Okay. That's one reason I'm swapping quickly over to... trying to get over to commercialized agriculture. So we can get all the new farms, which I'm going to be building lots of farms. Get them all swapped over to being capitalist-owned in the swing. We had demand for you. What happened? Huh. Something changed the consumption here on the opium a lot. And then, yeah, we're going to have to build more engine factories sooner rather than later, I think. We've got a demand for like another 40 factories. Starting to get closer to positive income. And then once we're in positive, the credit will start to go down. Won't really change the revenue very much because we don't have very much interest rate, but... Oh, we can move more of the wood production over to hardwood. Do I need more tools? We don't really need more tools yet. Though apparently we could do with some meat production. Yeah, and maybe another one where we want to wait for the commercialized agriculture to do grain meat. Yeah, I think everything we got left for big expansion potential is the grain. To be fair, the grain's going to cause demand for fertilizer, right? So we're going to do grain into fertilizer into the fertilizer inputs. Meat's going to make some fertilizer. It's also going to make some fabric, which surprisingly got about balance in the fabric. Aniline doesn't really matter to us, because the plants is dye, which we can make on the plantations, and requisite for the silk, which we can make on the plantations. Other nations, like European nations, it's much more valuable. So yeah, then we'll probably once we're done with what we want in society, we'll pop back over to production. Make the trip down to electrical power. into combustion engines. Electrical railway is actually tier 4? It is actually tier 4. Maybe we might not have a super fast adoption of electricity then. Usually the engine is where it pops off. 1 week, and then we get mutual funds. So initially, what we're going to do is we're going to weaken the petite bourgeoisie a little bit. Weaken the petite bourgeoisie by destroying the publicly traded. And then we're going to start trying to contemplate how easy it will be get over to mutual funds. So policies, laws. Currently in homesteading, we want to go onto commercialized agriculture. This is, of course, opposed by the peasants' movement and opposed by the farmers. You are quite a powerful bunch. And it's only supported by the scholar officials. It looks like it's supported by the industrialists and the intelligentsia as well. Can I make decent? So you're 44, you're 36. That's obviously just not doable. Okay. So as we could try to, what? We don't want the peasant movement to be strong because they're opposed to this. Let's try to suppress that movement. The absolutism movement is neutral on this, which is why we're not getting a buff from them for the conversion. You know, we'll try to take the swing either way. So we do want commercialized agriculture. We'll see how well this goes. The answer might be it doesn't, but we'll see. Oh, and I should be searching something. Yeah, a little bit tempting to try to do human rights, corporatism. Human rights so we can get access to old age penetrants. On the other hand, we could do steel frame buildings, which allows us to upgrade the construction PMs. Yeah, let's do steel frame buildings. We'll do steel frame, human rights, corporatism. Okay, and apparently even though the peasants are opposed to this, the peasants are not sufficiently opposed to this to actually be applying a stole chance. Oh, there they go. They weren't, now they are. Take a -5, take a -10. We'll take the -5 for the moment. Realist art, bourgeoisie art, that sort of art. Okay. I'm gonna go over to independent artists and realist art. We have access to a new mandate. We'll go ahead and grab the last vassalization. And then we're gonna have to be making a decision. Do we want to go construction 3 or swap to an entirely different set? Like, it might be tempting to do something like foreign investment. With increased leverage on economic dependence for integrating people without war. We'll see. Car is a protectorate, which could swap Perak. Everyone else besides Siam is puppet. Yeah, let's just make those guys puppets. And then, yeah, we'll end up in the situation where Siam's the only one that isn't. This is going to be a little bit expensive. What we'll do is we'll start funding lobbies in here to stabilize the relationship with Siam. Okay, we are at the precipice of potentially swapping over to iron boats, iron military warships, 2 torpedo boats, and ironclads. As well as have the port upgrades. That's tempting. We're in the green. You probably don't, or do want to slowly pay down the credit rate, the credit in the moment. Doesn't need to be paid down particularly fast. So like plus 100 is probably fine. We're also getting close to steel frame building. That might be something where when we do that swap, or start to do that swap, that's going to drive costs up as well. So definitely not rushing to find more things to spend our money on. No, looks like the standard trifecta here is looking for expansion. We want more furniture, we want more food, and we want more clothes. Do like 40, 40, 15. So we go based on where it's profitable. Then food industries, where it's profitable. Then close at like 15. Oops. We got a 16th one in there, it'll be fine. Some random provinces got another clothing factory. And as people get richer, we'll swap the pop consumption away, probably the clothes is all end up happening. Yeah, it looks like commercialized agriculture is going to fizzle. Or has a high likelihood of fizzling. We'll see. This would be a lot easier to solve if the industrialists were not Republican, because then we could get a much more stable government by bringing them into government. So there's one thing we can do, is expand the railways. If the railways are profitable, especially like 150-something railways are just good places to build, I think. Okay. There's a bunch more stuff to build, a bunch more potential to generate revenue. Oh, and I gotta remember, I'm gonna edit this video part together with the previous, before the jump cut part. So this is actually gonna be an extra long video. It's about 5 minutes longer than I'm trying to tend for. Right now, for the Victoria videos, I'm trying to go 50 to 60 minutes. This one's gonna be like 65. So I hope you've all been enjoying. If you're watching on YouTube, I think I'm trying to do 2 parts a day uploaded. So you'll probably have another part either up later today or tomorrow, depending on what. This is the second part of the day. I think this is the second part of the day, so there'll probably be one tomorrow. In fact, there'll probably be 2 tomorrow. If you're watching Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break to probably go make a cup of tea, because I don't have a cup of tea next to me. I have a glass of water instead. And then we'll be right back to playing the game. Trying to get commercialized agriculture, trying to get the GDP as high and as fast as possible. So until next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. And bye for now.